So the first part of our two-part series on Brad Park. Sorry, a little Freudian slip there. Just as handsome as Brad Pitt. Talked about the cosmic shift when Park, who was a dominant player on the Rangers, was unceremoniously sent to the Boston Bruins as part of the Rangers' salary dump of the mid-1970s. Now, just a little bit of background for people that didn't listen to the first part. We talked about the Bruins, Rangers not taking him as a number one pick, and the Bruins taking Barry Gibbs over him, which caused him not to play with Bobby Orr in the late 60s, early 70s. Now, Rangers tried to dump salary along with John Bertel and Joe Zanussi to a trade to the Bruins in a blockbuster deal that also sent Phyllis Mazzito and Carol Vadnais to the Rangers. Now, the New York press and public at the time had felt that Park, who was 27, was overweight, overpaid, and over the hill, as he was facing unfavorable comparisons to Dennis Potvin. Now, while Esposito and Vadnais remained effective players for the Rangers, the team remained mired in the bottom division after the trade. The Ranger GM, Emile Francis, was eventually fired because of it. Now, contrary to expectations that the Rangers had gotten the better end of the deal, the struggling Bruins were instantly rejuvenated and soon again became one of the NHL's best teams, despite the departures of Espo to the Rangers and Bobby Orr to Chicago. Now, taking over the mantle of leadership from Orr, whose career was threatened by injury and would soon leave the team, Park continued his great success under coach Don Cherry. Park had previously been an end-to-end rushing player, attempted to imitate Orr with the Rangers, but with the Bruins he was told by Cherry to concentrate on defense. Getting over his unpopularity in Boston when he was a member of the arch-rival Rangers, Park settled in well with the Bruins, even hitchhiking a ride from two teenagers at 1 a.m. after his car ran out of gas, and Park later rewarded them with free tickets to the next Boston home game. Now, from 77 to 79, Cherry's lunch pail assistant captain captured 3 division titles for the Bruins. Park earned 2 first All-Star team selections, was a finalist in the Stanley Cup in 77-78, and was second in the Norris Trophy twice in the Bruins uniform, with the 78 campaign being considered one of his finest seasons. In 77-78, again he took on the Habs in the finals, losing a 2 hard-fought series. His highest highlight for Boston came in the Game 7 of the Adams Division Finals against the Sabres in 83 playoffs, when Park scored the game-winning goal in overtime and helped Boston advance to the conference finals. Park's career also overlapped with the first 4 years of the emerging superstar defenseman of the Bruins, Raymond Bourque, from 1980 season to 83. Now, one thing about Brad Park, not to say there was 2 lives for him in hockey, but you might as well say that, even though some people also think his time with Detroit was another phase. His situation with Boston was quite interesting. With Boston, he won the Memorial Trophy, Team MVP, Star of Stars. He was a 3-team stars, 3-stars team leader, and an Ellis Trophy co-winner in the 76 campaign. He was the Boston Radio Network Second Star Award winner in 77, and he won the Home Games MVP co-winner in 78, and was a Boston Radio Network Third Star Awards. Now, Bruins records, of course, most assists in one period, 4 against Chicago, March 17, 79, and most goals by a defenseman, 9 in one playoff year with Bobby Orr. Now, with Boston, he was one of 11 20-goal scorers for the squad in 78, the team record. Now, he tied NHL and Boston playoff records for goals in one year by defensemen with 9 in 78. Again, most assists in one period, 4 against Chicago, 79. Unfortunately, missed 46 games of the 79-80 season with bone spurs in his right knee. Injury required surgeries in September and November of 79. Became the only 16 player in NHL history to reach 100 career playoff points during the 80 playoffs. Became the only second defenseman in NHL history after Bobby Orr, and the 23rd player overall to reach 500 career assists on December 11, 1980. And he was also on the ice for, get this, 78 of 87 Boston power play goals in 81. Now again, the big goal against Buffalo in Game 7 of the 83 Adams Finals. And again, most career assists for a defenseman 646 broke the record, which has since been broken as well. He also tied John Beliveau's NHL record for consecutive playoff appearances with his 16th in 84. Now, Park eventually left Boston as a unrestricted free agent and signed a 2-year contract with Detroit on August 9th of 83. Now, Parkey disputed his free agency. Boston thought Parkey disputed his free agency status, claiming he still had contractual obligations to the Bruins. But Park noted that his previous contract with Boston had run out on June 1st, 83, and he was free to sign anywhere since his name had been taken off Boston's reserve list. The issue was that Park had agreed to a personal services deal in Boston that would guarantee him employment with the team after he retired as a Bruin, and Boston felt the deal was still in effect. The Bruins were prepared to go to court to fight for some compensation from the Red Wings, but the league ruled that Park was in fact unrestricted. One of the reasons he reportedly opted to join Detroit was that Wings owner Mike Ilitch would grant him ownership of his 2 Little Caesar Pizza franchises in the Boston area as part of the deal. The contract itself paid Park $350,000 for each of his 2 seasons. Very, very cool. And he also spent time around that era doing Hockey Night in Canada college commentary work in the late 1980s. Now, he eventually had a good stand in Detroit. He became head coach and director of player personnel on December 29, 85, and remained in that position for the rest of the season. Now, his contract, however, ran through the 88 season and was paid in full. Basically, he was paid to stay home for 2 campaigns to make room for the new system coming in. Now, he's also named New York Rangers Pro Scout prior to the 2002 season and remained that position until 2004. Now, with the Red Wings, he won the Bill Masterton Trophy of Perseverance in 83-84, having set a record for assists by Red Wings defensemen. After the 85 season, still an effective player, but hobbled by repeated knee injuries, he announced his retirement and again eventually became coach for Detroit. Now, talking about the injuries, hard to keep up with. Over the course of his career, he undergo 5 major knee surgeries and 4 arthroscopic procedures. Missed part of the 66 season with torn cartilage in his knee. Missed part of 67 with a kidney injury. Missed 16 games of the 70 season with a broken right ankle. Missed part of the 71 season with injured left knee. Missed 26 games of 73 with strained knee. Missed part of the 75 season with a strained left knee. Missed final 21 games of the 76 regular season with torn cartilage in his left knee, an injury that required surgery on March 5th, 76. Now, he also missed half of the 79 season with torn cartilage in his right knee, an injury that required 2 surgeries. So allegedly, as well, if you heard me Brad Park walk, you could hear the crunch literally of it going on. When I met Brad Park at the alumni game in Woodstock for Boston, Woodstock, New Brunswick, found him to be a very genial guy, but I did notice a significant limp. But one of my buddies said, "What do you expect? He's got knees like plastic," literally and figuratively. So it's a very interesting career in hockey because, like I said, never a dirty player, but never a wimp. 6 feet 190. Sometimes he play at 210. But I remember his great play against the Russians in the Canada Cup Series, and he was one of the 6 players we needed to beat the Russians. And him and Henderson and Bill White and Conway, Esposito, Henderson, everybody else, the way he played in Russia, winning 3 straight, he could have done it without Park. And Park had one of the biggest goals in the series that a lot of people think maybe turned the tide towards Team Canada. And of course, we're talking again, his big activity with the NHLPA after Alan Eagleson was caught stealing. He said that he wanted to be taken out of the Hall of Fame, and Eagleson wasn't removed after his criminal conviction. And Eagleson was then forced to resign from the Hall not long after Park and others spoke out against his membership. So a stand-up guy. And he was honored by the NHL Alumni Association as the 2012 Man of the Year for his work with former players. So, and don't forget his book called Straight Shooter, The Brad Park Story, is one of the most interesting books about hockey that a lot of people haven't enjoyed yet. because if you really read that book, we talk about Ken Dryden's The Game as maybe one of the most important hockey books of the 1980s. This is one of the most important hockey books of the last 10 years because it's a no-holds-barred look at how Brad saw hockey in all its levels. Now, talking about Straight Shooter, it includes his co-writer Tom Sears, and again, it's called The Official Biography of an NHL Legend. It's a great gift for any fan of the Boston Bruins and the Rangers, and try to find a hardcover edition because the photos that are in there are just so many classic shots of Park over the years. But we were kids. There was 2 hockey cards that we wanted. It was Montreal Canadiens cards, and one were Brad Pitt. I was saying that. Brad Park. Before there was a Brad Pitt, there was a Brad Park. Both handsome men. Sorry about that. And he's famous number 22 with Boston, with the big logo on the upper right and upper left of the jersey. But all the success Canada had internationally, recognized throughout the world, Brad Park is a top 20 NHL player of all time in my estimation, and the stats bear it out, ladies and gentlemen. 1,113 games, 896 points, 213 goals, 683 assists, with a big 1,400 minutes in penalties. The playoffs, almost a point a game pace, 125 points in 161 games, and 35 goals. And again, that big season in 78 where he got him all the way to the finals and came within literally 2 games of knocking off the big Montreal Canadiens dynasty of the late 70s. So that's the story of Brad Park. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, or subscribe. Don't forget part 1 is already up. This is part 2. Thanks for listening. Bye.